Happy Tuesday. 2 minutes in the box with Gordo. Today, we're going to recap last night's games and previewing tonight's games. And Gabriel Landeskog is playing again, making his first comeback for the first time in 3 years, winning a Stanley Cup with the Colorado Avalanche and playing with his the AHL affiliate Colorado Eagles. And sad news around the NHL. Ray Sherrill passed away. We'll get to it. And I challenge you guys to do a Stanley Cup playoff bracket. Who's going to be the best one? And we preview tonight's games. And we get the latest news and rumors. This is 2 minutes in the box with Gordo, the daily grind of news, rumors, and updates. Let's talk about last night's game, shall we? The Buffalo Sabres 3-0 win against the Carolina Hurricanes, and 14 straight years missing the playoffs. And they got a lot of good talent, and they shot themselves in the foot for it. You lose Ryan O'Reilly, you lose Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart. I mean, there's a catalog of players. You could have won a Stanley Cup by now, and you guys keep screwing it up. I mean, geez, oh Pete. I mean, you got some good players, but do something about it, Buffalo. Do something about it. It sucks to see you guys not making the playoffs for 14 straight years in a row. Man, it sucks to see that. I mean, Tage Thompson's 44 goals. I mean, how could a team miss the playoffs for 14 straight years? And you've got a guy who has 44 goals on the season, and you've got Alex Tuck with 34 goals. Bowen Byram's got 31 assists, and McLeod has got 30 assists. And JJ Paterka, he could be the next one leaving Buffalo. I mean, good Lord, this Buffalo Sabres organization, it's a dumpster fire. And Terry Bagula's got to tell the board, fix it like the Bills, and they can contend again. They need a Josh Allen to save this team from being sinking and sinking and sinking and sinking deep into the depths of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. It's getting obviously worse over there. All right. Now, speaking of getting worse, the Detroit Red Wings missed the playoffs yet again. And the Montreal Canadiens winning 4-1, improving their odds of getting the second wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. And I guess, hey, Dylan Larkin, he's going to be on pace for 30, 35 goals this year. Patty Kane, I got to tell you, he's going to be back with the Red Wings next season. He's a good piece. He's definitely got chemistry with DeBrincat and Larkin, etc. But the Red Wings, they got to do something. The Detroit Red Wings, this is not Steve Yzerman's fault. He inherited Ken Holland's insecurities and poor draft choices and poor trades. And it's just like, what the hell? You got to keep a streak alive and you leave Stevie Y with nothing. Steve Yzerman, when he was GM with the Tampa Bay Lightning, he was brought in with new owners of Jeff Vinik because Oren Koulis and Lynn Barry, who owned the Tampa Bay Lightning at the time, they were a dumpster fire. I mean, Brian Lawn's a smart hockey guy, but the owners were a dumpster fire. But the Lightning, you know, they were fixed right away. Conference finals right away. They had a couple of rough years, and then they got back on track. Stanley Cup Finals, etc. And Steve Yzerman is a smart hockey guy, and he is Hockey Town royalty. And I'm so tired of these damn fans bitching and whining about Stevie Y. Like, oh, it's all about you. It's because that he inherited a dumpster fire. Plus, you got an incompetent owner who can't duplicate what his father has done. I mean, Chris Ilitch has got to be one of the worst owners in the NHL. I'm sorry to say this, but this family needs to sell the Red Wings. You've got the Stanley Cups. You built a great reputation. You've got the arena built. Get the hell out while you still can. They need something to reignite the fight and lights on Hockey Town. The Red Wings need something new. Okay, the Montreal Canadiens, no surprise, 4-1 victory. Cole Caulfield is an unbelievable player. And same thing with Nick Suzuki. Suzuki's got 28 goals this season and 58 assists. I mean, man, talk about one of the most underrated players in the NHL, and he's got to be one of the best two-way players in the league. And Cole Caulfield's got 37 goals. I mean, this Montreal Canadiens team, they could be very dangerous in the playoffs. If I was Washington Capitals, I wouldn't take them lightly, because remember what happened back in 2010 when Montreal beat you and beat Pittsburgh and went to the conference finals against the Philadelphia Flyers. Make sure you better watch out. Montreal is no joke. Florida Panthers, 3-1 victory against Toronto Maple Leafs. And I got to tell you, Florida is ready for the playoffs. They got to rest those guys. You got to rest everyone in your lineup. But what a game by Goose and E2. I really think Florida is ready, but I'm still concerned that they might have to play Tampa Bay in the first round. Tampa's dangerous. They're scary. I would hate to play against, your cross-state rivals. But they can do it again. I think the Panthers can definitely do it again. Meanwhile, Toronto, I believe that they can handle Ottawa, but they're going to be barely coming out of that first round. It's going to be a tough battle. I believe that Toronto and Florida are going to have a tough first round, and I believe that the Eastern Conference is going to be crippled along with the Western Conference. All right, now let's go over to the Boston Bruins and New Jersey Devils. 7-2 victory for the Boston Bruins against the New Jersey Devils. I got to tell you, David Pastrnak, he is one of the best players in the NHL who is not going to be in the playoffs. 41 goals this season. And he's got 59 assists, 100-point season. I don't get it. You got one of the best players in the league, and you've got a great core, or great 1-2-3 with Swayman, McAvoy, and Pastrnak. But the Bruins front office is incompetent. Jeez, it's just like, what the hell are you doing, Boston? You got to learn what Washington just did in the offseason last year. Do the same thing, retool, get everything back together, and you'll be back in the playoffs. And you got the fourth best odds of winning the lottery. Come on. The Bruins have got to get it together. They got to get it together. All right. So, and I got to tell you, Morgan Geekie, 30 goals this season. What an underrated signing. And that's a tough loss for the Kraken, though. That's a tough loss. And Geekie is a very valuable player, and he's a sneaky pickup on fantasy hockey. All right, now we go to the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa Senators, congratulations. You guys clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2017. I'm happy for you guys, happy for your fan base. I know you guys lost to Ottawa. I know you guys lost to Columbus last night, but hey, hats off. Cheers. I know Columbus is not going to make the playoffs and all, but I believe Ottawa is going to give Toronto a rough time in the first round. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be one of the ugliest battles of Ontario in recent memory. But I'm going to go to the Columbus side of things. I got to tell you, Sean Monahan, I know he was out some time of the season, but he has 18 goals. I mean, he looks good. But I'll tell you, Columbus, they've got some great young players and great young assets, but I miss Johnny Hockey. I miss him every day. Think about him all the time. If he were there, I believe Columbus would have been in the playoffs this year. They would have been a wild card team, wild card 1 or 2. And Columbus, they have a very bright future ahead of them. I believe that they have a good team, and like I said, they have a bright future ahead. And all right, so let's go to two former dynasties against each other, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And no surprise here, Pittsburgh Penguins 5-0. And once again, Sidney Crosby, he is on fire. He's electric. 31 goals so far this season. And in the cast of players, Kevin Hayes, couple of goals, Letang and Carlson, but I'll tell you, Pittsburgh, they've got a lot to rebuild. I mean, this is going to be another. They're going to be back in the playoffs the next couple years, but it's going to take some time for them to get back on track. The Blackhawks, though, same thing. The Blackhawks, they have a lot to get fixed before next season. All right, and then we go over to a not this is the opening act of a wild game last night. The New York Islanders had a 6-4 lead, and Nashville somewhat wins the game in overtime 7-6. Touchdown. And I'll tell you, Fedor Shineskov, I 8 goal a season. And, Stamkos had some impact. 27 goals so far this season, 24 assists, 51 points. Not too bad, but somewhat disappointing for a high profile free agent in the past offseason. And Marchessault's got 33 assists. Yeah, I just really think that, Nashville's going to be a retooling team in the offseason. And as for the New York Islanders, I think the Islanders are going to have a rough season next year. They are going to be a lottery team. They have a lot of dysfunction with Anthony Duclair and Patrick Waugh. I really think the Islanders need to get to reinvent themselves. They can't play this, you know, Lou Lamoriello game anymore. I think it's done. I really think they're going to be a lottery team. They need a new flash. I mean, Matt Barzell was a stud in his rookie year, 85 points. And then ever since Lou took over, he's become a shadow of himself. I really think that the Islanders need to be hot and flashy again. I miss the old New York Islanders with Gar Snow in charge and Dougie Waite there as well. I miss those guys. This New York Islander team, I don't even recognize them. I mean, I can recognize Mike Milbury because he's incompetent, but this New York Islanders squad is like, I don't recognize them. It's like a new neighbor and someone you never even met. I just don't even recognize them. All right. Now we go to one of the wildest comebacks in NHL history. So the Vancouver Canucks, they had got themselves one of the wildest victories of the season in history. I mean, the Dallas Stars, they had a 3-0 lead. And then all of a sudden, Jake DeBrusk scores. And then Victor Mancini gets a goal. And then Maverick Bourque gets it 4-2. And then Mikael Grenlund makes it 5-2. And then 3 goals by the Vancouver Canucks. A minute left in the third period. Altarada, Boy Sutter, 2 goals. And they tied it 5-5. And then Kiefer Sherwood, overtime winner. I mean, oh my God. What a comeback. I mean, with all the crap that's going on with the Vancouver Canucks and all this stuff, but holy crap. What a victory by the Canucks. 6-5. I mean, what a comeback. 3 goals with a minute left in the third period. Now that's just madness right there. And that's a hell of a win. But I know it's too late for them, to make a playoff push. But they got some resilience. And, Dallas, they got a very valuable point out of it. But geez, oh, Pete's Vancouver, 6-5. Nice comeback. 3 quickies with a minute left in the third period. Pretty goddamn impressive. Just goddamn very good game for the Canucks all around. Just crazy. All right, now we got Utah Hockey Club against Seattle Kraken. 7-1. Another touchdown. Utah Hockey Club. I tell you, Mikhail Sergachev, Clayton Keller, and crew. Oh my God. Logan Cooley. Those guys are phenomenal. I mean, this Utah Hockey Club, I know the season's about to end, but this team has a lot of young talent and promise. I got a feeling that this team is going to make it to the playoffs next season. It's going to be competitive, but Utah's got a very strong group of young guys. Wow, it's crazy, And I'll tell you, Kyle Yamamoto made a nice hit, right on former Florida Panther defenseman. It wasn't Brandon Montour. I'm trying to remember who it was. hmm. Let's see. Josh Mohura. Yeah, what a nice hit. What a nice hit. You know, overall, Utah's got a lot of promise. Seattle's got some retooling to do in the offseason. And then last game, shootout. What a dub for the Colorado Avalanche. 3-2 against the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas got 2-0 in the beginning. And Valerie Nuchishkin and VC got the others. And then Charlie Coyle gets the game winner. Yeah, pretty damn impressive indeed. Pretty damn impressive indeed. All right, let's get to tonight's game, shall we? We got 5 games on the dock. We got an important potential second round matchup or first round matchup between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This one's going to be enticingly exciting, and there's a lot of riding on it. And then we got the Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Rangers. And no, on that note, it's going to be the final game, that we're going to see two legendary broadcasters sharing the booth one last time, Sam Rosen and John Davidson. You know, that I gotta remember watching those two back in the day when they're broadcasting. I mean, JD was a hell of a goaltender with the Rangers back in the day, and Sam Rosen's been there since the 80s. And that they've been a great 1-2 combo for the New York Rangers for a long time, and then JD left, for a management job with the Blues. And we're going to see this magic one last time in the broadcast booth on TNT tonight. And then you got the San Jose Sharks and the Minnesota Wild at 8. That's going to be a nice matchup right there. Then you got a potential playoff matchup right here between the St. Louis Blues and the Edmonton Oilers, also on TNT tonight. That's going to be an interesting one. And then lastly, the Calgary Flames against the Anaheim Ducks. That's going to be exciting. And there's reports that former Saginaw Spirit and Calgary Flame draft pick is making his NHL debut tonight. And this kid, I tell you, I don't know, I forget the kid's name, but he is a high intellectual IQ player and graduated high school early. And he's a very smart tactical player. And I think he's going to be the next Cal McCarr. He's going to be that good. Oh, yeah, he's going to be that good. Now we go over to the standing updates. We know that Toronto, Tampa, and Florida. So Tampa's got 98, 96. Tampa, Florida's 94. I mean, this is going to be very close indeed. If Toronto loses, Tampa leapfrogs. If Toronto wins, they keep the lead. This is going to come down to the wire. And then we've got Washington, they got their stuff already at 107, 96 for the Carolina Hurricanes. The Devils, they still need to clinch. And then wild card 1, Ottawa, they clinched last night. Then you got Montreal with 87. Rangers, Red Wings, Islanders, Blue Jackets with 79 each. It's out of reach. They've got 5 games left. It will be impossible, barely good chance and odds that either of those 4 make it in. I think it's set, sealed, and done. Then you go Winnipeg, top of the Central, 110, 106 Dallas Stars, 100 for the Colorado Avalanche. All 3 have clinched in the Central. Vegas, 103. LA, 97, both clinched. Oilers still looking to clinch at 93. Blues at 93, wild card 1, Minnesota Wild at 91. And then you've got Calgary with 4 points behind, Minnesota with 87. Vancouver, 6 points behind Minnesota. And then Utah, 84. They're 7 points behind Minnesota. So, oh, yeah. That's going to do it with the standings and updates and the recap. So, we got exciting news that Gabriel Landeskog is making his return to the ice. First time he's playing real hockey in 3 years. when he looked the Stanley Cup for the Colorado Avalanche. He's getting a 3-game conditioning stint with the Colorado Eagles. That's the AHL affiliate of the Colorado Avalanche. It's great to see Gabriel Landeskog back on the ice and the captain of the Colorado Avalanche. And hopefully that boosts the Avalanche confidence and the momentum because Colorado could need that help because Dallas is no easy task because this is going to be a war in the first round. It's a damn shame that it's going to be a first round matchup. If this would have been a second round matchup, man, that would be an exciting series. Yeah, it would be an exciting series to watch. And I'm gonna tell you, next week, everyone's got to do a bracket because it's going to be exciting. Yeah, I don't know what the grand prizes is, but well, I'll have to let you guys know. But I'm excited. I got to do my homework. Everyone should do their homework and research on, who to pick to win the Stanley Cup this year. Don't forget, use your casino and gambling bets and making sure who's got the proper rights and odds. And, sometimes go with your heart, sometimes go with your gut and your trust into your intellectual unduma amagata. But I'll tell you, this is going to be a wild Stanley Cup playoff this year. And on that, we got some sad news in the NHL today. Ray Shero, who's currently with the Minnesota Wild as part of the management team, Ray Shero has passed away at the age of 62. And he's the man who won the Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2009. And he's the man who drafted Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier in the New Jersey Devils. And he was part of the Ottawa Senators and the Nashville Predators as part of their management team for a very long time. So from 98 to 06, that's when Ray Shero was with the Predators. And his father was Fred Shero, the legendary coach who got the Philadelphia Flyers Stanley Cup champions and the New York Rangers into relevancy in the late 70s. And it is a sad day. It's a sad day in the hockey world. And Ray Shero, I've got some good trades and memorable trades. So here's the first memorable trade Ray Shero did when he was with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He traded Colby Armstrong, Eric Christensen, Angelo Esposito, and a first round pick in 2008 for Daniel Levi to the Atlanta Thrashers, and the Pittsburgh Penguins acquired Pascal Dupuis and Marian Hossa. And that trade right there, they went to the Cup Finals and they lost, but Hossa went to the Red Wings. But a year later, with Dupuis and Crosby, etc., that helped the Penguins win the Stanley Cup. And speaking of Pittsburgh Penguins, with this deal, so they traded Ryan Whitney, who's currently on Spin Chicklets and Pink Whitney, New Amsterdam Vodka, to the Anaheim Ducks, and the Ducks traded Chris Kunitz and Eric Tangradi to the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it was part of that Stanley Cup run. And Bill Guerin was traded from the New York Islanders, and the Islanders received a third round pick. Turned out to be, I don't know. And then also, we had this memorable trade. So the Penguins traded Alex Goligoski to the Dallas Stars, and the Penguins acquired James Neal and Matt Niskanen. And also, this is a very interesting rivalry trade, Capitals and Penguins. So the Penguins acquired Thomas Vokoun, and they traded a seventh round pick in 2012. And then also the Penguins traded Jordan Staal to the Carolina Hurricanes for Brian Dumoulin, Brandon Sutter, and Derek Pouliot. And then UC Jokinen from the Carolina Hurricanes for future considerations. I wonder who those future considerations turn out to be. And one of the most memorable trades was that Ray Shero traded Adam Larson to the Edmonton Oilers for Taylor Hall, and Taylor Hall ended up winning the Hart Trophy in 2017-18 season. And speaking of the last memorable trade, so Ray Shero traded Taylor Hall and Blake Spears to the Arizona Coyotes for Kevin Ball, Nate Starr, Nick Malarkey, Dawson Mercer, and Jonas Steinberg. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Send my condolences and prayers to Ray's family. You're one heck of a GM and you're one great guy. And you created a great hockey legacy and great memory in the game of hockey, and we will all miss you. All right, so this has been 2 minutes in the box with Gordo. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. We'll be back here tomorrow. Remember, follow, like, subscribe. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, TikTok, etc. We'll be talking about the preview of the Frozen Four matchups tomorrow and recapping last night's games. And we'll give you the latest news and rumors and updates of the daily grind of 2 minutes in the box of Gordo. Don't forget, have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.